In this vlog, I want to look at why large teams suck at delivering. Now, I've worked on hundreds of projects in my career, including theatrical productions, corporate events, community events, and obviously software projects. And one key thing I've learned over the last 25 years is that it's not the size of the project that causes issues during delivery, but the size and the makeup of the core delivery team, which dictates how that project is going to go. For example, when I was in my late teens, I worked as a waiter in a restaurant, which was a crazy idea as I am clumsy and forgetful. Anyway, when I first started, there were about 5 new staff, myself included, and when we were in on a Saturday, which turned out to be particularly busy, within 5 minutes, I was in trouble. I was overwhelmed and I didn't know what I was doing. And things quickly turned into chaos as the green staff forgot orders and they spilled Coke and they were left weeping quietly in the corner, looking pathetic in their soggy, branded aprons. Well, thankfully, the manager on duty that day really knew his stuff and did not waste any time sending the junior team home or to the kitchens to do the washing up and using a smaller but vastly more experienced contingent of the team to run the restaurant on that super busy day. And it was the right call. They had a bumper day with loads of happy customers. Sure, the team that was asked to do twice the work was tired, but they really kicked ass and took names. And this is pretty much always the way of things. Use a small handful of skilled and motivated people who work amazingly well together, the A team, and you will achieve significantly more than a much larger team. And there is an important note. A larger team would still be worse if it was included that core, or if it included that core A team. If you add good or average personnel to an outstanding team, you will reduce its efficiency and hinder its output. If you put too many outstanding people in a large team, a strange dumbing down occurs and you reach a critical mass, and all of a sudden your stellar performers start to look average and inefficient due to bad communication. So fast forward to my days in the theatre where I did everything as working as a stagehand, a carpenter, a crew chief, an automation designer, and during these times the same pattern emerged, but with some telling differences. So when you're doing the setup for, let's say, Miss Saigon, and you need to unload 4 articulated trucks, for this, a huge team of burly and eager humpers works an absolute treat. The simple macro task of getting stuff from A to B can be done by a giant team, providing it's being overseen by the core A team. But this macro task has to be simple, predefined, with few variables and very little chance that there can be a problem. Now, when you come to set it all up and get ready to drop a helicopter, or when you are ready to do the tricky stuff which needs to be done in a certain order with a certain amount of control, thought and care, well, that's when you send the humpers home and you switch to that core A team to get stuff done. This team would be super skilled in their speciality. That'd be lighting and sound and set building, organising, shouting, mind your backs, or ho there, or back that thing up, you're going to crush poor Brandon. The key characteristics of this team will be intelligence, the ability to problem solve, works amazingly well together, and the work ethic, which is second to none. With this A team, you can move mountains. No, actually, in order to move mountains, you'd be much better off with humpers. No, with this A team, you could build mountains with champagne flutes and fish forks. No? Anyway, fast forward again, and I see the same things in software. I've worked on projects with budgets of a few £1,000s to millions, with a team of me, a designer and a developer, to multiple teams across a broad skill set with more stakeholders than you can wave a fiery stick at. And what I have seen time and time again is when the teams are smaller and focused, both smaller and larger projects are far more successful. I've worked with blue chip companies who cannot get out of their own way, that are hamstrung by their own processes, that have chosen large development partners who are inflexible and slow, and whose output can be poor because not all of their staff are stellar. And when you're sitting in one of those big project meetings, which make you want to top yourself, you can tell the folks who get it that they're the ones catching each other's eyes and sort of silently communicating, shall we catch up after this and then we'll sort this sucker out? Then you go away and you have your peripheral meeting and your peripheral conversations where the real decisions get made, and you decide how the A team can offset the incompetence, the inflexibility and the glacial slowness of the others involved. The problem is, in this situation, the A team has no freedom and its influence on the project is severely hampered. The worry, I think, is often that this somewhat Rambo maverick approach will compromise in some way security or due diligence or upset some regulator somewhere. But this is nonsense. Building well-architected, well-thought-through, secure systems does not take an army. In fact, I think you're more likely to have holes in your solution if you have hundreds of individuals burrowing away at it. It's in the news all the time. Massive monolith projects running late, spectacularly over budget, and ultimately blowing up in a very public way. I promise you, your carefully selected A-team will get the job done far more effectively than the mediocre masses. We here at ComSoft are an A-team, a great A-team, and we can really help you out with your project, so do get in touch. Thanks for watching.